One tarot trend that is increasing in popularity and never seemingly going away is the idea of drawing a tarot card per day. I have seen this, and I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about, in tarot reading circles, in pagan groups, in Wiccan circles, and it's a really trendy thing to do now, is drawing a card in the morning and considering its meaning throughout the day. I can see its appeal. I can see that it creates a sense of spirituality in the mornings that can otherwise feel mundane. I can see that it gives a sense of routine where one may be lacking, and I can see that it could help you learn tarot card meanings easily, that by drawing a card and reflecting on its meanings and learning its meanings, it could help you learn the tarot. I also get that it can give a focus to your day or a key message to reflect on, to help you find inner power and balance during that day, like a quick, simple astrology reading for the day. However, I don't think it's a great technique or trend because, especially if you are learning tarot, I don't think it serves you well in the long run. One card can have multiple meanings. It's very tricky if you are drawing one card to figure out what that card means within the context of an entire day and which one to focus on. For example, the Magician card could mean being able to use your inner creativity during that day. It could mean use the tools at your disposal during your day. It could also mean deceive others in being able to get what you want, like the salesman. It could also be a warning of the very same thing. It could be careful, today you will come across people who will not tell you or show you the full story or the full issue. Because of this, reading one card in isolation is not a really fantastic way to learn the tarot. One card it doesn't help you narrow down the many meanings associated with it, and it can lead into this one card means this style of tarot, which is quite a limiting to someone that's especially interested in tarot, which is why you're probably watching this video, or someone that actually wants to learn the skills of reading tarot. It also doesn't provide you something that you can reflect on in a deep way. It doesn't give you something that you can dig deeper on or consider. There's no puzzle to it. Having a card and then you have a textbook of meanings and you can kind of go through it and see which one applied for that day doesn't really give you a challenge or a spiritual meditation during the day. Learning the tarot meanings is relatively easy. Learning how tarot cards combine and can work together is the hard bit. I've seen beginners learn the tarot and then they come to read cards in a spread and find it very hard. They sometimes freeze up because the meaning that they have for the card doesn't tend to work in that position or in the spread in general. Or one card seemingly contradicts the other. I kind of remember the reading in the Harry Potter books where Ron Weasley is reading the tea leaves in a teacup, and he says, "You will suffer, but be happy about it." And that's the kind of feel that I'm getting. It's that two contradictory tarot cards will look hard to read on the surface if you have learnt this one card means that approach. That this trend seemed to perpetuate. So I recommend an exercise I call Tarot Tango. I recommended this in a previous video, but on reflection I didn't really do it justice, and I didn't really explain it very well. In my defense, it was probably the 100th time that I tried filming that without any mistakes, and I was just getting plain tired. So here I go again with Tarot Tango. Tango, as you probably know, is that infamously sexy Argentinian dance, and the saying is, it takes two to tango. And whilst that's probably true of so many dances, like ballroom, very hard to dance ballroom without a partner, it's really true of the tango. The tango is an improvised dance that is between two people, where the lead expresses their feelings and emotions of the music through their connection with their chosen partner. The follower likewise expresses their connection to their partner leading them and the music in essential playful flourishes, and likewise can inspire the lead to adapt his dance to the style that they are dancing at. Connection to the tango is like water to a river. Yes, the music gives its movement and direction, but without that connection, there is no tango. So Tarot Tango is about connections. It's about seeing how the lead connects to their follower, and how the two of them co-create and express the music that they are steeped in. And just as it takes two to tango, it takes two cards to tarot. That took me about 4 or 5 tries to get right. It's a tongue twister. Try it several times over very fast. So this will allow us to play with the connections between the cards and see how they can interact, co-create and continue from each other, how the follower is an extension to the lead's body. So using 2 cards will allow us to limit some of the meanings of the cards and refine our reading, like I mentioned earlier, the issue with those single readings. It will also allow us to provide something more deeper to reflect on during the day, and it'll help build tarot as a language rather than a this card means that approach. So here we go. I'm going to give you a few examples of it to see what the hell I'm talking about and how waffly I'm talking about tarot and dancing and what the hell this has got to do with tarot. So here's a few examples. First things first, you are now playing live with the tarot. So anything that you do to start that process or create that is a little bit special, do now. I normally, as I've mentioned before, light a candle, and I also pour myself a cup of tea, sometimes chai. So if whatever you want to do, whatever you're kind of building up as a part of a ritual, do that now. These readings matter, these readings count. Anytime that you pick up the cards should feel special, and these kind of things pay dividends. You are signaling to your mind, to especially your subconscious mind, that what you're doing counts, it matters, and to hearken or heed the cards in a kind of subtle way. You're also then building a state of mind or a state of purpose. There's a lot of NLP about kind of states of mind and initiating states, and those kind of rituals or things that you do every single time help build up that pattern with the tarot cards. So feel free to copy me, light a candle, light some incense, pour yourself a cup of tea or chai, all good. Second, you're going to want to shuffle the cards. If you find that clumsy, I did do a video on how to shuffle a tarot card deck. I will put the link below. So go away and watch that, but don't feel too worried about it. If cards fall out, it's all good. Separate off the major arcana from the minor arcana. The major are the 22 highly pictorial allegorical trump cards. I'm getting very used to saying that. That I've talked about in numerous videos. This exercise works better with just the major arcana. You can use the minor arcana in it. That's absolutely fine, especially if you've got a pictorial deck like the RWS, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. This exercise works particularly well, really beautifully with the French style, the Marseille decks. That's because there's a really good mixture of people looking in different directions, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So, start your ritual, light your candle, light your incense, shuffle your cards, deal 2 out. If you are handling reversals, that's going to give lots of variations, because you are going to have 2 uprights. First reversal or second reversal, or you've got both reversed. So there's more variations of reading 2 cards if you do reversals, and I highly recommend playing it with it. There's going to be 3 levels of playing this game, this Tarot Tango. The first level is coming to the cards without any prior information or knowledge about the cards whatsoever. So as a complete beginner, that's fine, and I will show you how to kind of play with it. You can come to this with some basic meanings, having done a little bit of tarot or a little bit of tarot with a different deck, and I will show you how to kind of use those meanings. There's a third option of someone that is very good at the tarot and very experienced at tarot that wants to broaden their horizons, or they want to drop some of the book learnings and try to look more about what the cards are telling them. So there's those 3 levels of reading this. So I've picked a couple of examples, and I've just thought of a third that might be quite good, that I will show you. So the first one, I've picked these 2 cards. So if these 2 cards came out, let's start this as a beginner. So someone that hasn't got any tarot knowledge whatsoever can look at these cards and just see how they're looking. What's the connection between these cards? How is the lead leading the follower, and how is the follower expressing the lead? What's the connection? Well, we can see that this card in the Marseille deck, it's known as the unnamed tarot card, or the unnamed arcana. In most decks it's called Death, or the Reaper, or whatever the art deck wants. It's the 13th card anyway. And this one's the Magician. We can see here, or in French, the Bastelier, that the Death card is staring straight at the eyes of the person that he's looking with. It's got a very good, clear direction of moving forward, left to right, not staring this way, and looking at either the future or the person that's following it or the person it's connecting with. So Death stares its victim in the eyes. Interesting thing to kind of look at. In return, the Magician isn't directly looking back in the eyes. He's looking at, bloody hell, this has got a big scythe. There's going to be some damage coming. He's very distracted from what he's doing. He is looking at this very dangerous implement, and maybe these heads and dismembered parts of body and all sorts. So he is regarding the scythe, and the Death card, or the unnamed arcana, is staring his victim in the face. So this is one of very strong confrontation with someone looking at what's coming ahead. So there's a sense of future, that this one is looking to the future and this one's looking at what will be. So that's a meaning in and of itself. Yeah. A beginner could also point out that this scythe is going for the legs of the table. The Magician, or the Bastelier, the juggler, however you want to call him, is using the tools on his table to give a magical performance, or showing his skills at what looks like a little rod. It's a wand, and this coin that he looks like he's about to pocket, or and he's got someone along cutting the legs off the table, and therefore all his tools are going to go smacking over the floor. So it could have this meaning of having the legs cut from underneath you, having everything go that you've been working on for a long time. There's a danger to what you're using, there's a danger to your tools, there's a danger to your work in progress. So a beginner might note this. A beginner might also note that we are going from a lead that has no body, that is naked in the extreme, as some of the tarot authors talk about, going to a body. Someone with a little bit of tarot experience, and I will talk about these things in my videos, will notice that we're going from a very bony pelvis to this hidden female pelvis here that is much more fleshy. So going from bare bones to flesh, building something up from the ground up, using your tools and knowing the problems and challenges that are coming ahead. But meanwhile, also he's reflecting backwards, he's looking backwards, so he's considering the past, looking at the past and the skills that he's built up. So that's two ways that a beginner can look at that card. So if someone has a little bit more knowledge of the tarot card, you can bring in the meanings, which are very similar to what I was talking about. So the Bestelier can be someone that is using their creativity, and the Death card can mean restarting or renewal. So it could mean that you are going to need to start from scratch with the tools that you've got and the creativity. So it could be a creative project that you need to start again on, you need to start over on. He's cutting the project down, and therefore he's going to need to use his creativity, his personality, his showmanship in order to do something new and a new start. Yeah, so you can include the meanings and how the meanings interact, but they end up being relatively similar. What happens if one of them is reversed? Let's have a look. So if you've got that, things change dramatically. This way, the Death card, or number 13, is staring at the feet. No weird fetish, but he is staring at the feet and the legs of the tables and the person, whilst his scythe is going for the neck of the person doing it, and the magician is looking away. He's not looking at his partner, he is looking away from his partner. So you could indicate that this is someone that's going to get it in the neck, that at work or in their creative project it's going to be cut off at the neck. It could be that, renewal starts from the ground up. It could be that it's saying everything's up in the air. These things will fall because they're on a table that's upside down. And watch your legs. Keep your legs grounded when everything else goes up in the air. So that could be one reversal. Another reversal, like this. You've got this scything action. When it's upright, it looks even more severe, I'm noticing, isn't it? It looks like it's coming to get someone rather than reaping. It looks really quite murderous. So this is murderously going to the unknown and looking back. So this could be something to do with the past, or something that's happened that we can't see. There's no card here, we can't see what they're looking at. So Death is scything the past or killing off something unknown. The magician is aware of it. The magician can see this happening whilst they're working. Yeah, so that could be the interplay. What on earth are you doing there, friend? I'm not quite sure, but I'm ready to kill something. I'm ready to hit something with this scythe. Possible meaning. So that's done. You've got the double reversal, which I won't go into. Another way that this can pan out is a progression. So here we are with a progression. This is the lead, this is the follower of whatever they're doing. This is the lead pouring 2 jugs and the follower pouring them away. So we've also almost got a step 1, step 2. It's like almost a cookbook here. We've got step 1, pour the water cup jug to jug and then pouring it out. So what could that mean? It could mean that things that we have dwelled on or kept going or in a cyclical pattern are now ending and being poured away. Yeah, that's not a too complex way of reading those cards. It's pretty beginner. It doesn't include anything that you need to know about the card. This is very open reading style by the kind of well-known tarot readers. You could also note that the person, it looks like the same person because of blue hair. You've got this kind of flower on top that could be echoed in these stars. But you might notice one of the difference is the wings are going and the clothes are going. So that could be a progression as well. How this person is becoming unclothed and pouring them away, stripping bare, getting rid of the vanities of day-to-day life and stripping things bare to get work done rather than ending in a cyclical thing. So it could be read like that. The reversals will be similar. You know, this way they're pouring water upwards. This way they're still pouring water upwards but looking at the future, looking at the person that's coming. So you can see the same person in different cards as it goes on, and it'll be, you know, relatively similar like this. The other one that I just thought about, and I hadn't previously, so just ignore me whilst I ruffle through these cards, is this. This is quite a traditional pairing in tarot. Why, do you ask? Well, the Imperatrice is the Empress, the Emperor, sorry about my awful French pronunciation, is the Emperor. The Emperor, the Empress, they rule together. So it's a traditional pairing. Sometimes they're seen as mother and father, sometimes they're seen as male teacher, female teacher, various different kind of things. But as a pairing, they're really interesting. There's an awful lot of similitude, yeah? They both have crowns, they're both on thrones, they're both got the same insignia. They are obviously a pairing in the tarot. This way, they're looking together, yeah? They're staring at each other whilst they're ruling. Emperor is slightly more direct. Empress is slightly lower. Almost like she's eyeing up his jewel. So they are in a good connection. There is a good connection between these two people. So it could be two people in life. So this could be, you could be reading for your husband or your wife or your partner in arms, whatever. And it's saying that you're communicating well. Make sure you see eye to eye. Make sure you look at each other. Yeah, if, however, this was the case, this is leading and this is following, then the opposite is true, that you're looking in opposite directions. There's not a good connection between these two cards. There's some sort of disjunct. You know, alternatively, if they were reversed, they're looking at each other. There's a good connection between the two, albeit, you know, they're about to fall off their thrones and everything's going up in the air. So that's another way to look at it. Yeah. And you can include the little bit more knowledge about tarot by saying that, you know, this is man and wife, this, or woman and husband, sorry, to play these as if they're their ownership of each other. So we can play this, these key meanings between the two cards. So this is emotions and action, consideration and action, emotions and drive. You know, they're looking together, and they're communicating well, and you're able to use both of them and combine both of them into your day moving forward. Yeah, especially if it was like that. So you can use the meanings to add in, but looking at how they tango, how they dance together. I kind of mentioned in the introduction that how the two of them co-create and express the music that they are steeped in. Very poetic, but what I'm saying is that how they are co-creating, how they create a spread or a reading between the two of them, and how they express the music they're steeped in means how are they explaining the answer to the question or the context that we're reading them in. So in this case, we're just reading 2 cards for a day. We're just looking at two cards back to back and seeing how they interact. So the context of the music it's steeped in is the context of the day, like what's happening this day, or what should I be focused on today. In a reading, that the music changes. In a reading, it could be about love, it could be about work, it could be about anything. So notice that the music can change, and therefore the style of dance that they're doing will slightly differ. Whether it's a jive, a very happy upbeat dance, or whether it's a quick step or a waltz or a tango, change up. So that's quite simply it in a better way than I previously explained it. So I think I've done it a little bit more justice. What I do recommend is, if you are doing this, sometimes it's hard to remember the fine details of the cards, especially if you're not used to the cards. So everyone's got a camera on their phone. Take a photo of it. Then you can have a look at it at any point in the day without having to take cards out and put them next to each other. It's still got the same portable value as a single card, but it presents you more opportunities to look back at it and go, what the bloody hell was that talking about? Well, you can then reread it. And what it might mean in the morning will be different by the time it's lunchtime. There's an awful lot of different ways of looking at these combinations, but you get a little bit more of a refined reading than you do if you're just looking at one tarot card, and you start learning how to continue cards together in a story or a patter, which is so important in reading tarot. So there it is. That's Tarot Tango. Play around with it. I hope I've persuaded you to drop the tarot trend of drawing a card a day and instead draw 2, double it up. And if I haven't, never mind, carry on with your daily practice as long as it makes you happy and fulfilled and it gives you a sense of meaning and spirituality during the day. All for it. If you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to my channel so that I carry on making these videos and feel passionately as I do about them currently. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy this exercise. It will bear fruit after a few times, and I look forward to seeing you again.